So when you were forming your singing voice, we all, learned to sing by listening to other singers and mimicking them to an extent. Were there any artists in particular that you thought that's right for my voice and I'm going to, at least in the beginning, sing like that?
Yeah. I reckon Missy. I think that voice was a voice that I guess it was that Australian accent as well that she didn't shy away from. And she has that like quite a clear, crisp voice. And I think I was like, I want to make mine sound like that. I was also listening to, I was listening back to some older recordings of me, and I think Angus and Julia Stone must have had an impact because there was some sort of element of me singing a little bit like them. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. So I think that there was a few. And Vicky Thorne, incredible voice, vocals, yeah. So I would say that was them.
So you're playing guitar and you're singing and starting to write some songs. At what point did you start playing gigs?
I started playing gigs probably when I was at uni in Perth. I was in this all girls, oh, it was all girls until we let a boy join, a little band called the Vindells. We were Vari, Erin and Adele, and we used to sing so like real folky harmonies, and started sort of writing songs and playing around Freo. And I really loved that time. That was really special, just getting to sort of have that taste for performance and playing with other people. And then when I moved to Fitzroy Crossing and then back to Broome, I really started to engage with like the Broome and then the WA music scene a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a steady, and it has been a steady journey for me, in that each year I do more and more and more. And I start to realize that this music is not just a passion and a fulfilling aspect of my life, but something that I have to do, because
Right.
I notice when it starts to get put to the side, I start to question a lot more about life around me. And when I'm actually focused and doing music actively, I'm a lot more understand. Maybe it's the purpose, I don't know, but it feels like I get what I'm meant to do. Yeah.
Well, and there's also that, I suppose, points to the importance of creative practice in life in general. It's like when you don't have that outlet, and it's not necessarily writing a song, it can be singing someone else's song, but obviously expressing that, you realize is fundamentally important to you.
Yeah, and to everyone's mental health, and mine in particular. I've realized that over the years.
So when you were in Perth and you were playing in the Vindells, as you said, you were not studying music though at uni.
No, I wasn't studying music, and it was, I don't know, I guess I've thought about this from time to time, being like, I wish I had studied music, but then it obviously wasn't my journey. I was told, like so many other young kids, that you don't make a living off music and do something practical, and maybe I'm just a little bit people pleaser and took all of that on and thought, all right, well, I love music, what's the next thing I love? And I'm really interested in health. I was at the time, still am, population level health, so I did a health promotion degree. But the good part of the story is that while I didn't study music and I did that health promotion degree, that degree ended up landing me in this job in Fitzroy Crossing, which was a social emotional wellbeing job using music for wellbeing. So I would never have gotten that job had it not been for the health degree, and that job basically launched me into this area of my life where I really knew that music was something I loved. I saw the healing benefits of music and songwriting and everything that it can do. When you do it in a way that you're engaging in the industry, and even when you just do it because you're telling your story. So I think it was a roundabout way of getting into music through a health degree, but it still got me there.
That sounds like the sort of job that you can't really prepare for. Like,
No.
I mean, even though you had your qualifications and you had the background in music, it just sounds like it's such a singular job that you just have to go and try it.
It was a job that I think you would never get a perfect candidate for, because while it was underlining the job was these health principles of social and emotional determinants of health and Aboriginal people's connection to spirituality, and that the way that interplays with music and storytelling and songwriting. But then there was all the technical side of it, which was operating a recording studio and running gigs, and I didn't actually have all of that side of things. I was a songwriter, or budding songwriter. So I had to learn in that time. I started trying to learn Pro Tools and learning how to record. And I also learned how to operate like a huge PA system to do community band nights. I sort of just was like, all right, well, I've got to do it. And so I think a lot of the time in the job, I was like, oh, if someone else knew what they were doing, this would be so much more effective. But then if it was a sound engineer in the job, they would be going, oh, I wish I knew something about health promotion. So I think it was this, you would never have found the perfect candidate, but I learnt heaps, and I learnt, so much in the music sense, but I learnt so much about the history and our First Nations people's culture and that history of Fitzroy Crossing in the Valley and the Kimberley. So the learning was way broader than what I would have imagined.
How many years